Hi guys.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
And we are the Mayanja family.
Yeah.
Today we have a very interesting couple.
Yeah. From the UK, our visitors. And we are so glad to, they're going to finally say something to you guys. Yeah. But before, share what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we are going to be discussing a very interesting topic about parenthood. How does parenting differ between these two countries, Uganda versus the UK? You know, in Uganda, we have a proverb that says, it takes the whole village
to raise a child.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing in the UK?
From what we see on the internet,
it's totally different.
It's quite different.
Yeah.
So we are going to be having a candid conversation about this whole topic of parenting. So we are a family of 5 here in Uganda. We have three beautiful children, 1 girl and 2 boys. And then the Odaro family, I think it's the right time for them to talk about their beautiful family all the way from the UK.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi guys, we are the Odaro family and we are a family of 4. We have 1 girl and 1 boy.
Oh, that's a good balance.
Yeah. So we want to say thank you guys for giving us the privilege to be featured in your channel. Basically we're just going to be talking about parenting in the UK versus Uganda, just the difference.
All right.
So, guys, the reason why we have actually chosen this very topic is because we've had so many controversies on the internet and even people that come from the now that we have them here, they're going to be telling us, is it the internet, is it the government, or it's actually on the parents? Why are children raised in the UK, most of them, disrespecting their parents? And is it the parents to blame, or it's actually the system of how they raise children there? So growing up, I've grown up in Uganda, and we have been raised not to actually disrespect our parents. Like, you don't say no to an African mother or even a father. Whatever they tell you is actually what you have to do. Like, you get? But the things that we see online, because I've not been in the UK, children are disrespecting, like they're not listening to their parents. It's like the children are the ones leading the what? The parents. So take us through how is that? Is it a system, or it's actually the way how you raise children in the UK?
In my opinion, like in terms of what I've been saying before we came together to start having kids, I think sometimes it all goes down to the parents, and it depends on how you bring up your child, because there are some parents that they're very strict. You don't have to touch the child for you to discipline them. Just by speaking to them, telling them, okay, for example, maybe when they've done something wrong, you can just tell them, oh, you have a thinking corner in the house in case you misbehave, or you don't listen to your dad or your mom or your sister, your other siblings. So you can just tell them, okay, you have to go and stay there, your thinking corner. So when they have that in mind, then they can start listening. That punishment is there all the time. So I think that helps to bring up the child in the right way. And that's my own opinion on the things I've been seeing as well. So I think...
So people in the UK don't do that? Like they don't punish their children for if they do something wrong? They don't tell them?
Yeah, they do tell them. It depends on your household, on how you brought up your child. There are some parents that don't really care. You understand? Because I've seen so many cases whereby, because sometimes I do work with kids, so I've seen whereby sometimes just the parent, or maybe the dad is not always there, or the mom is there, or maybe both parents are not always there, they are grandparents. So it depends on the child, on how they're being brought up.
I think most of the time it's from their parents that, you know, like, kids don't respect their mothers, especially if they're like single parents. So if the kids grow up like with a single mom, most of the time the kids are not really respectful to people, because I think like they need like a father figure.
In the home. So most parents are just single parents.
Single mothers.
Single moms. But not all single moms as well are, are not really taking care of their kids. Some single moms actually are proper disciplining their kids, and they are literally doing the role of a father and a mom. So I feel like the kids, it's upon the parents to just tell your kid how they should behave. So if the kid is young and they do something, always tell them off. And if they do something good, then make them, praise them and tell them, you're doing something good. But I think the way we were brought up, like our parents, I think anything small that you did, they'll just they'll punish
you for it.
They'll punish you. So I think that then obviously that made us as well to be where we are today.
Yeah.
You know, at first when we were younger, we're thinking, oh yeah, they're actually punishing us because they don't like us.
Realize it later.
But then
when
now we've grown, we're having our own kids. Now we think like, you know what?
It was actually the right
way. The right way. But even though we're not doing the same to our kids, you know,
of the system, because we're not allowed to touch our kids, obviously. So
talk about the system,
guys. You know,
because
I was actually about to ask that question, but since you've hinted on it, please go ahead.
Because the system says you're not allowed to touch your child,
spank your child,
or flog them or anything at all.
Are you for real?
And they're being encouraged whenever their parents are doing that, they should report to us. Of which obviously
it puts a parent
it doesn't give us the control over our kids. You understand? So it's like the kids have control over us. So whenever we say or do anything, they can easily just report us. So the system get involved in it. Do you get?
So it renders you powerless.
Yes. You understand?
It's kind of like the kids belong to the government system, or the system. So when kids do something wrong and then you end up maybe punishing them, most of the time I think it does really allow, like, I've seen some people discipline their kids, like, you know, slap, but I think you can discipline them but don't put injury on the kid. You know, so when you put injury, that's when they're going to investigate and see.
But they encourage you more to speak to them instead of you touching.
Just speak because they believe that kids are, you know, they're younger and they can always listen. So if as well the way you speak, your tone. You know, sometimes when you're shouting, the kid thinks if you don't shout, then I won't listen. So I think it's about the way you also speak to the kid. If you're shouting every time, then the kid won't listen. But if you're always speaking to them and tell them, like, you know, listen, don't do this, it's not okay. They'll definitely listen according to the tone that you're speaking with them. So some kids, they love, I don't know, to be, you know, sat down and you just tell them, you know, listen, like, this what you're doing is not okay. But then some kids as well are really stubborn. And they need a strong hand. And that's why the dads have to come in. When you have so when you have a father figure in your life, obviously when you're a woman, obviously we can't really for the boys they need like a man.
They tend to fear the father more.
So we need that, you know, man figure in our
it's also good when you start them early, like from, let's say, from 2. Because when they get to a specific age, that's when they stop being like disrespectful, disobedient. So for example, maybe when they get to, like, let's say around 5, 6, so it becomes harder for you to discipline them the way you want them to be. You understand? So it's better to start very early. And also you need to also advise them things what they need to do, just in case, because most of the time at school they usually ask them about their home, what's going on, because they want to know. Most of their teachers want to know what's going on. For example, maybe your child comes to school like in a, like, let's say his uniform is not ironed. They'll be asking, okay, why is the child this?
What happened at home?
You understand? So they start asking questions. So I've seen some parents telling their child whenever they ask them questions at school, they shouldn't answer. They should just tell them, oh, they don't know, because they don't know what's going on at home. You understand? So which is very good, because by the time they start opening their mouths, that's when they start getting their parents into trouble. Because there's so many cases whereby maybe the mom and dad has a little bit of disagreement at home, and when this child goes to school, the teacher wants to get involved. So they start opening their mouths, start telling them, because obviously their parent never told them that. You understand?
So you mean they believe everything that the child says, even if it's lies?
Even if it's a lie, they will always believe.
They always believe.
Wow.
So how do they find out the truth? Because before the government comes into act, they have to first find the truth. Because they can't just come up with a conclusion that you're caning your kids, that you're mistreating them. How do they make sure that they find out the real truth of what is happening in the family?
Funny enough, what they do
investigation.
They take your child away from you.
Before taking away the
child. So before that, they have to do some investigation. So what they'll do, they'll do investigation without you knowing. So you won't never. I mean, like they'll tell the kid will come to your house or something. You know, they'll just be monitoring the kid going home. If the kid comes back to school, they'll see how the kid is, the attitude, how the kid is behaving.
Sorry to cut you off. The people that do this investigation are the social workers. So they call in social workers first, and the social workers start coming to your home to investigate, ask questions.
Or even sometimes they'll follow because there's some lady that they were just following.
Yeah.
She'll just see a car parked outside just to see, like.
Really?
Yeah.
When she doesn't know.
She didn't know. Until after some time, she started noticing the same car coming to school, following them when she's taking the kid to school. And then she obviously had to ask, like, why are you guys following me? And then that's when she knew that they were doing some investigations on her. So before they take the kid, they have to first do the investigation. And sometimes, obviously, kids lie. That's why they have to, they have to take some time doing the investigation.
Really, I'm thinking to myself, if at that age where our parents were caning us, if we had somewhere to report, we would definitely report. Like,
Report to who? Actually, where you go to report, they also beat you.
So we would definitely have nowhere to report. You would just have to obey what your parent is actually doing. Telling you. But I also feel like times are really changing. When we were starting, Lawrence talked about statement of raising children as a community.
Yeah, it takes a whole village to raise a child.
I feel like that phase is also that phase is like it is phasing out of now.
Yeah, but here in the cities, one will feel bad when you touch their child.
Yeah.
But when you move out 50 kilometers away from the city, there is that communal spirit in Uganda. It is only phasing out here in the city centers.
You can't.
But 50 kilometers, 60, 70, 100 away from the city, you'll find someone on the road can even cane a child who is misbehaving.
Yeah. And you have
you can't do that.
They'll arrest you.
Even you see, like sometimes on the bus, because sometimes it depends on the time that you're coming from either work or wherever. So the kids finish school around 3. And some kids are really, really disrespectful. On the bus, they'll literally come and they'll step on the chairs like with their shoes. And you're just saying, can you just stop doing that? It's a problem.
Yeah, they'll tell you
They'll tell you,
you're not my mom.
They say you can't tell me that.
You can't tell
You're
me
not my mom.
They'll say my mom said, I don't talk to strangers.
There was this incident that happened.
God.
I met my mom one time. It was at the traffic. It was a T junction. There was traffic light. So there was a car coming. So the child was supposed to wait. I think he was coming back from school. So he was supposed to wait before he crossed in to wait for the red light. This child didn't wait. He was just about to get hit by a car. So my mom just dragged him backwards. They're like, leave me. Don't touch me. You're not my mom. Why are you touching me? My mom said I shouldn't talk to strangers. I'm like, what?
But it's just saving your
life.
life.
You understand? You're about to get hit by a car.
I think that's one thing that parents have always done there.
You understand?
They always say when you go out there, don't talk to
strangers.
strangers. So the kids always have that. You know my mom,
I
my dad.
There is no that communal spirit that side because here they know each child comes from a particular home and they know those homes specifically. So this thing of disciplining you when you do something wrong, they know that you're going to go back, tell your parents the other person caned me for doing so and so did this to me because I misbehaved. And most of the times if they beat you, you won't even have to go back to report because when you report they'll punish you again even more because now in the civilized world people think like every family on its own like people don't want to know what is taking place in the other neighborhood and all that. You may find that you're living in a place but you don't even know how your neighbor looks like and yet you've been neighbors for years. You get so I think that is where the communal spirit is, and kids are losing control. There are some children who would not be actually like raised up in homes where parents are raising them the right way, but the community can help to shape these children. But now that the community is not there, children just do whatever they want.
I've seen something like that in the developed world. I'm saying the developed world collectively. And I've seen mothers crying on the internet where she feels powerless. She can't do anything to the child. She's trying to rebuke the child and the child is disobeying. So she even reaches an extent of crying. Here does an African parent cry when she's trying to rebuke you? They'll just beat you. So I've seen what they do. They take children to camps where they get disciplined. You know those camps?
Yeah.
They get disciplined. Now, are those camps legalized by the government? That's my question.
No. In the UK, it's not like that. What they do, if the child doesn't listen to their parents, that's when first of all, they involve the social worker, and the social worker takes them away from their parents, take them to foster homes, whereby they're being looked after by someone else.
But in those foster homes, do they teach them how to behave, or they come out when they're exactly the same
because
way
they have rules.
They have rules. They have like a system that they follow. For example, if the child misbehaves, let's say they usually, for example, in a day, they'll give like, let's say, £5 outside. If the child behaves well or do any
they have like a reward.
Or cleaning their house, so they give them a reward for them.
So they're always doing something good.
So
looking forward to
promote
them.
them. So they use psychology on them instead of you beating or touching them. So that's what they do. That's what I've found out, because I've mostly worked with kids. You understand? So that's what I've noticed that they do. But after some time, if they see that the parents have they're happy or they're in good terms with the parents, that's when they have to like fight the system again, involve lawyers to get the child back. You understand? So it's a very
an African parent.
And I've seen these African parents, like the ones that live in the UK, whereby when the child is misbehaving, they're actually going to take the child to Africa, like bring the child here.
I've seen a story whereby
that's not acceptable. If the government finds out that the child went because of that, then
it's illegal.
It's illegal. Wow. So they're gonna bring back the kid.
But that means I have no rights over my child.
No. To be honest, over there in the civilized world,
I don't think so.
Your child
because I have a right to take my child wherever I want.
Yeah, but then some kids, like let's say a kid who's like 16 or like a teenager, and then the parents like bring them back here
for holidays.
I think it happened one time whereby the kid was brought back to Africa or something, and the kid called the embassy. British embassy, because he was born there, and he said, "My mom brought me back here because I'm misbehaving. I don't want to be here. I want to come back."
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Yeah. And they came for him.
Wow.
They came for him. They said he has to go back, and I think the mom and dad were arrested or something. I don't know, something like that. I didn't follow the story, but you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, kids can go on holiday, but they can't go because you're thinking. Yeah.
You see, in a civilized world here, maybe for example, we travel with our kids right now, and they miss just one day of school. You know,
oh my God!
See the way she's putting in pressure. You were saying something.
What was I saying? I was talking about
so in the developed world, you were saying something.
Yeah, the system. So in the developed world, your child belongs to the government. So whenever you make a little mistake like this, they profit from it. You understand? So why I said that, because I've seen a situation whereby maybe the mom and the dad have issue, or one of the siblings are being molesting the child, the parents are not being responsible. So the government takes this child away from them, take them to a different home, like care home, for example, and those care homes are being paid by the government. A child could be receiving less in a week, 20k, 50k a week
from the government.
From the government.
20k.
But it doesn't go directly to them; it goes to the company. That's looking after them.
Wow.
You understand?
Now, for Ugandans watching, £20,000. That's almost 50 million.
Yeah, Ugandan shillings. That's a lot of money. And
so
you know that
it's a big business. That's why they keep pushing for it. If you're misbehaving, you don't look after your child is going sideways.
Now you see that is going to force some parents to even forge so that their children can get money and bring it back in the home.
No, the parents are not involved.
The parents are not involved. So once the kid is gone, that's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Except maybe you get a lawyer that will fight.
You continue. Let me.
It's okay. Wow.
Except maybe you get a lawyer that will help you to fight the case and then give them a good reason why your child should be back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
I really feel like they are going against the word of God. You know, I'm a Christian, and there are values that a Christian believes in, that a child should actually respect their parents, and I feel like they are raising children to be disobedient to their children. Like even just a parent punishing you and you got to report somewhere, that means there is a superior power over you, over you as a parent. You have no control.
So you make the kid to understand, to think that you don't have the power.
There is someone beyond you.
Making them to have their mindset. Like, I have power over my parents.
Because you know, if you do anything to me, I'm gonna report you.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing.
That's quite interesting.
So that's why you have to train up your child the way they should go.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do, first thing you drop them closer to God. Be closer to them. Let them to understand the world that they're into. You understand? So from there, maybe you can have control over by God's grace. Yeah.
From there, you definitely have control because you have God, then you have you closer to them.
Yes.
Yeah, you have control.
That's really, I feel like that's the right way to go. But also, I think punishing children so much is also not good.
No, it's not.
As
good.
African
it's not
parents,
the way forward.
Yeah, I feel like they punished us so much.
We got traumatized.
And now you're not passing it to your child.
And you're passing on to the trauma to your child. I feel like we can do better. You can talk to your child, and if they're not listening, okay, I'm not saying that spanking shouldn't be done. It should be done in the right ways. You get
when necessary.
Not when necessary, not all the time, because the reason why we could not actually confine in our parents is because they punished us so much.
They put the fear in us.
The fear, like you can't open up to your parent because you're afraid. How are they going to react and all that? So I feel like we can do better.
And I think as young people, really, like when we're having our kids now, I think we're trying to make our kids to be more closer to us than our parents.
We are doing better.
We're actually really trying so hard.
We are doing better. And I think we can really do even more better because now we know what is right and what is wrong. Now that you have seen the system that is really against parents, you can do better because now you know. Really, a child should respect. Like, how can your parent even cry because of you? That's a curse. So really, I think compared to the things that we hear from the UK,
in the eyes of an African parent.
Yes.
Not to the civilized
not to the civilized, but I think we can really do better. We can do better, especially when it comes to raising our children. We can do better. So according to me, the things that I'm seeing in the UK and the things in it's totally the opposite. It's totally the opposite.
Different. That's why I forgot to mention in the parts of whereby, when a child, sometimes when the parents are not there, they feel like they don't get the love from home. So they later get the love from outside by friends. That's why they get involved with gangs and stabbings. Which is very common in the UK. With the gangs and stabbing and killings and all that. Because they think
it's like peer pressure out there. It really makes the kids to start now misbehaving at home. So if my friend at school is not listening to the mom, they're gonna bring the same energy to the house. My mom's like my friend doesn't listen to the mom, so why do you want me to listen to you? Stuff like that. So I think it's also the peer pressure and the friends they hang around with. If they have good friends, then obviously the kid is always going to go in a good direction. But if they have like this bad peer pressure, definitely the kid is not gonna listen at all. Wow, that's an interesting conversation to have. We can sleep here when we are talking about that. So guys, what do you have to say about this? Are you from the UK or you're in Uganda here? What is your mind? What do you have to say about this topic? Because it's a very broad topic when it comes to parenting. Everyone has its own opinion. Everyone, because we have been raised in different homes, first of all, different family values and all that. So what do you have to say? Leave that in the comment section. And I guess from us to you is do you have anything to say, guys? Before we close the video, because I feel like we have really exhausted what we wanted to see. We had to just do a small summary for everything. Because it's a broad topic, so we can't really finish it.
So guys, if it's your first time coming across the channel, just click on the subscribe button. Leave a comment on what you think about what we're saying.
And thank you for having us on your channel.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we started 4 of us, but we are now 3. One is actually looking out for our baby. So they have a YouTube channel. before we close.
Yeah.
And it is called the
Odoro family.
Yeah. Kindly, we are going to leave the link in the description. You go and subscribe. Join their family as well. They share a lot more about family, fun,
Yeah.
Yeah. So kindly go subscribe if you're from this community here. And yeah, from us to you is a bye-bye.